Let's now catch up with the Shadow Minister for Indigenous Australians, also in charge of government cost cutting, Jacinta Nampijinpa Price, joining us live from Darwin. Thanks for joining us, Jacinta.
Thanks for having me, Chris. Hello, everyone.
Big announcement today from the Coalition. I think a welcome announcement. Even Joel Fitzgibbon says it's welcome in terms of its general aim, $21 billion extra for defence over the next 5 years. Where's the money going to come from?
Well, as I've been tasked with the job of government efficiency going forward, obviously, we need to be able to win government so we can have a look at the books and understand across all portfolios where we know that there's a lot of government waste and where we can redirect those funds to things like our national defence, which is in a terrible situation and has been weak under Albanese. Which is why we've seen, Chinese government warships circumnavigating our country, and more should have been done in order to bolster defence in our country. So I'm very pleased that we are going to invest in our nation's defence and increase spending and put our spend to 2.5% of GDP in terms of our defence, which is really quite necessary in these really uncertain times.
Yeah, it should be there all the time. Never should have sunk so low. But look, there's no doubt that there's tens of billions of dollars of government spending and wastage that is there to be found. But has our politics become so reactive now that you can't even identify any of that in the lead up to an election because you get screaming from the government about it? Or is it a matter of you have to wait till you get into government to find where all the waste is?
Yeah, look, I mean, there is a lot of work to be done. And like I said, I think we need to be able to see what's going on within the Treasury to understand the lay of the land, to be able to know where we can, divert funds to be able to do things like bolster our defence in our country. That is just the fact of the situation. On the other hand, then you've also got the Prime Minister who has failed in many ways. He's wasted a lot of Australians' taxpayers' dollars, who will try to make out as though we're going to cut from the front line, which is simply not true. But we've seen how this Prime Minister can't lie straight in bed at night and falsify the circumstances. I mean, they're able to find money willy-nilly and throw it around all over the place and not come up with the numbers when it comes to their push for renewables, and then make up lies about $600 billion. But no, we want to be responsible. And that's what I think the Coalition has always been about, responsibly handling the books on behalf of taxpayers in our country and knowing where we can redirect taxpayers' funds to support our country in practical ways, in ways that we know is going to provide outcomes, is going to make our country safer at the same time.